Now, let's get into it. We have a conversation that we do not like to double up on a talk show, especially around this time. But we shall do what we need to do. Things your partner does not need to know. Well, we are out here trying to make sure that you secure your man or secure your woman, and you keep them around for long enough.
Exactly.
So there are some things, I know I am one of those strong believers that I have no secrets. Between my partner and I, there are no secrets. But deep inside, I know there must be at least one or two. Because sometimes there's some things which are so unnecessary to have a conversation about simply because they will, one, cause issues that do not need to be, brought up. Number two, will weigh heavily on the other person, and it is something that you can solve yourself. Or number three, it's just blatant garbage. Like, why are you wasting my time? Like, I have better things to talk about, or, I have better things to concern myself with. So some of these things may include, but are not limited to, what is something you don't think you should tell your partner?
First of all, you should just keep it mysterious. Telling your partner everything, just, keep them on their toes. Let them know there's something they don't know about you. And also, you're very conscious of the fact that you might tell him something and then he's like, that's very unattractive for me, So if you want this relationship to keep going, some things, just keep them mysterious. Keep them to yourself.
But let me ask you, you're speaking about mystery, and that's a thing that I always contest, because when you start being mysterious and they feel like there's something that they do not know about, doesn't that start to scratch on insecurities?
No, I'm just talking about things that your partner does not need to know for this relationship to actually thrive, Your partner does not need to know, like, for example, your sexual history. Would you be comfortable telling your partner, like, I did this in the balcony somewhere, I hooked up with someone at the club, you're in traffic and they're like, I once did this in the car. Your partner does not need to know this, because now they're thinking, okay, first of all, you are an S word, like what were you doing? Why were you doing this with other people? Why do you feel the need to tell me? Like, am I inadequate in some way? Am I not, is our, like, intimate relationship too vanilla for you? Because, you're like telling them details. You're going into details. He did this and this and this and this to me. How do you think your partner feels about that?
I agree with that, but what if it's in a situation where you're now telling them this information for the purposes of you now going for a medical plan? For example, your sexual history has led to you having a virus, for example, AIDS. Do you feel the need to then not tell them that story? Because if I'm just like, oh, hey, actually, I have this and this disease, or I have this and this virus, it automatically then makes people think that you're an S word. But sometimes it could have been you were, you were assaulted.
Yeah.
It could be that you were with someone who dogged on you and then ended up getting it and then bringing it home. There are many, many myriad of reasons why you could have something. Or the one we always ignore, but is very prevalent and a lot of people have it, herpes.
Yeah.
It could be oral herpes. You're out there just kissing on someone and you're infecting them with your diseases and you haven't told them. Now, they have to go about telling all of the future sexual partners that, yeah, by then, this is what I'm... You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, some of these things, if your sexual history led to you contracting something that needs to be told or talked about, then you have to have these conversations. But if it's now small things like that, that you, by then, let me tell you, you see this small, pale kokona pale, you don't.
You cannot tell your partner that. But things that are important, you know, it's all about having a very healthy relationship.
Yes.
You want to tell your partner everything that's healthy, everything that makes you work.
Yeah.
You want to be open. You're not keeping like dark secrets, but there are things you simply cannot tell your partner.
True. I completely understand. Another one is the same. It's lying around the same area, which is body count. This one, you don't need to tell your partner, but if they ask again, you may need to tell them.
Nah, you reduce by 5.
Okay,
what you doing?
If your number is over there in Agonga, my 20s, Kupanda,
double digits.
We have no reason to shame you, because that is 100% a choice that you made, and you are very, we're all sexual beings, so we're allowed to indulge as much as you can within the parameters of safety Yeah, safety first. But at the end of the day, sometimes if you can see your partner is a little sensitive, unaweza mwambia tu ilikuwa kafai.
Like you just reduce the number, you know.
Or
Like
if they tell you their number is like 3 and you're over there counting, you're like, yeah. We are out here at 30s. Are you really gonna
Double
tell
digits.
them 30? Are you really gonna tell them you're at double digits and they're at like a single, not even near half?
however, if
of
it
10.
works for your relationship, you can. For example, me, I was like very, I don't know, I was attracted to a man who was more experienced than me. You know, I didn't want like to bring my vanilla-ness into a relationship with another person who's also very vanilla.
Yeah.
So I also wanted someone who's like experienced, older, you know, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, so what's your body count? He was like, okay, we cannot, he was very open about it.
Yeah.
But for me, he's like, so what's your body count?
Yeah. And that became the problem, wasn't it? You're like all of 3.
No, yeah, you're like, 2, just 2. It's just, you and another guy, you know?
But it also is very important because I assumed that everyone is into women who haven't lost their virginity. And we're having this conversation. We said we don't like to talk about it, but we will. So I assumed that everyone is like into, oh, I love virgins. My friend.
Nobody
my
wants
friend.
that.
No. It was a whole conversation. So you're like, by the way, and they're like, yeah. So I don't think this is gonna work out. And for me to actually end up finding someone, and I told you guys, I'm very proud of saying this, and I've said it multiple times on this show. I did lose my virginity pretty late in life. I was 24, but it's okay. I am no shame. There is no shame.
24.
Yeah. There is
24.
absolutely, and you will not shame me too.
She
However,
had finished campus.
let me tell you, for that conversation also, it was very important because you're like, what's your body count? I'm like, 0. And they're like, what do you mean 0? So you have to have these conversations. It's important.
Yeah.
Moving on, that someone at work has a crush on you. This one, I feel like I can tell them, but I
Yeah.
don't want them to tell me.
Exactly.
That's why I draw the line.
Yeah. I don't want to know you have a work wife somewhere. Because the minute a woman is like putting effort into your man, immediately I'm like, immediately no, you need to resign. Either you resign or you quit. We can go hungry, you know? we even need to lose weight.
needs
Let us
money?
go hungry.
Why? What economy? It's already bad everywhere, so we can survive on nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have survived on less.
Yeah. Another thing you do not need to tell your partner is that you have a crush on someone. You know, like, babe, I saw Sean Andrews, and let me tell you, if you are not here, it would be him.
Now, for what reason are you throwing me under the bus? For what reason? We're going to be digging up the troubles of my past and bringing them into the future? What?
No, like, me, I usually have publicly, I crush on like Korean guys. So even he's like, Hamtoyon, and especially like Michaelson. Like, what is his name in Vampire Diaries? The originals. The original vampire. You know, like, I really had a crush on him. And I'd like post him all the time. And he's like, you guys would look cute together. He was not threatened. He was like, Hamtawai kutana.
Never. Yeah.
And he was like, even if he comes to Kenya,
Yeah.
you know, this is like a free pass.
Yeah.
You know, if it works out for you, great.
You know, but it is almost a zero possibility. It's one of those
Zero
things which could never
probability.
ever happen.
Exactly.
But still, even when you hear someone telling you, oh yeah, I think Beyonce is hot, you're like, who? Why? For what reason? You and Beyonce can go and have babies. I'm done in this relationship. I quit. I no longer want to be here. I'm taking my clothes. I'm leaving. It's how bad I don't want you to tell me that you have a crush.